Hello and welcome our beloved viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Let's follow. The President of the Republic inaugurates the new Djibouti embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States Summit countries in Angola in the international scene. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. On the sidelines of his participation in the China Arab League Summit, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, inaugurated this morning in Riyadh, capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the new building of the embassy as well as the residence of the Ambassador of Djibouti in Riyadh. Upon his arrival, the new headquarters of the Embassy of Djibouti, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, was warmly welcomed by the Ambassador of Djibouti and senior Saudi officials who came in large numbers to attend this event. The two national anthems of the two countries resounded then. He cut the ribbon to inaugurate the new headquarters of embassy and the residence of the ambassador.
garasha ugu jeexa gela wada muujiyo hadiya jeer wadae inaad waajibka gudatay bay cidiji kaarayne jaranjarooyin adag iyo intaad jiira soo dhaaftay eed meela qayrka ku jabay adigu soo jiidhay way runta lagama jeeste intaa jariya buur fanatay ee aad jabuuti awadeed jirab kasta u mudatay way qof jiraysan mooye shacbigu jeer horu qiray jaranjarooyin adag iyo intaad jiira soo dhaaftay eed meela qayrka ku jabay adigu soo jiidhay way runta lagama jeeste intaad jariya buur fanatay ee aad jabuuti awadeed jirab kasta u mudatay way qof jiray
The President of the Republic visited the interior of the buildings, which will allow the staff of the embassy of our country in this brother country to exercise its functions in comfortable conditions. The headquarters covers a total area of 6,300 square meters and consists of the administrative premises of the embassy with 12 offices, a conference room, a meeting room in the residence of the ambassador, as well as various accessoires and team rooms for Djibouti diplomats. This inauguration of this new embassy reflects the attachment of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle, to the frontier relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and to further strengthen the ties and strategic partnerships between the two countries.
u yagleel horumar jiil dambi u aayo mashaariicda kala jaadka ahee qodobka laga jaraayo jihaad baad ku keento raxmaan kuguma hoojine intaad hawl u soo jilib dhigtaa jaallow loog yahaye daliilka abaalmari dantaad jeer kastaba fuline intaad hawl u soo jilib dhigtaa jaallow loog yahaye daliilka abaalmari dantaad jeer kastaba fuline nacabkaagu jamal qaaf ku xidhan maarka jaaga sadiiqa jiro iyo intii jecel wanaagaaga cibrigii jiryow caafimaad nagula joog aabbo adowgii jabyow caafimaad nagula joog aabbo jabuutina allaha nooga dhiga jagadii liibaanta nacabkaagu jamal qaaf ku xidhan maarka jaaga sadiiqa ha jiro iyo intii jecel wanaagaaga cibrigii jiryow caafimaad nagula joog aabbo adowgii jabyow caafimaad nagula joog aabbo jabuutina allaha nooga dhiga jagadii liibaanta jabuutina allaha nooga dhiga jagadii liibaanta jabuutina allaha nooga dhiga jagadii liibaanta
The President of the Republic of Somaliland, Mr. Musa Bihi Abdi, left our country today at the end of his working visit. Mr. Musa Bihi, President of Somaliland, had during his stay with the high officials of the country, including President Mr. Ismail Umar Gelle and several prominent Djibouti personalities, including Prime Minister Abdul Ghadir Kamil Mohammed and the Secretary General of the Prime Minister's Office, Mr. Nagib Abdullah Mohammed Kamil, accompanied the distinguished guests and the President of Somaliland, Mr. Musa Bihi Abdi, to the foot of the plane on the runway of Djibouti International Airport. The Ministry of Youth and Culture, Dr. Hibo Mu'min Asoui, accompanied by the Ambassador of Djibouti in Saudi Arabia and his technical advisor in charge of relations with the Arab world, represented Djibouti at the 23rd Council of Ministers in charge of cultural affairs of Arab countries, which took place on December 17 in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The conference focused this year on the theme of eco-culture, or how culture is an essential vector in the political strategies of provision and awareness against the dramatic consequences of climate change. The issue of eco-culture has been discussed by the various ministers present as well as senior officials of ALESCO institutions. During the 23rd Council, the Minister, Her Excellency Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, met with her counterpart from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they exchanged on a better cooperation between the two brotherly countries in the field of culture. Following the signing of the partnership agreement between the King Abdulaziz Foundation for Research and Archives and the National Agency for the Promotion of Cultural Issues, such as culture exchange, book endowments, and cooperation in expertise were discussed and concluded very favorably. Under the auspice of the Secretary of State for Sports, Djibouti Athletics Federation organized yesterday morning of Friday in the capital of Ali Sibih, the 5th edition of the race cross as a joke. The sports competition was held in the presence of the Secretary of State for Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, the Prefect of the Region, Musa Adan Magani, the President of the Regional Council of Ali Sibih, Sharmanki Hassan Alale, the Deputy Abdi Kharibuh, the President of the Djibouti Athletics Federation, Said Ismail Hassan. In addition, school category girls 2 kilometers were given the victory to the girl Hawa Umar Ghalab. As for the event of 8 kilometers senior category, the athlete Hani Idris Hirsi of the Coast Guard is ranked first at the end of the race course as a joke. This major sporting event in this region of the southeast of the country ended in a festive atmosphere that delighted both the participants, spectators, and organizers. This field day as a joke ended with the awarding of trophies to the winners of the various events in the program. The different winners of the race, namely the 8 kilometers, 6 kilometers, and 2 kilometers, received each of the trophies as the hand of the persons in charge. second annual high-level seminar on peace and security in Africa, better known as the Oran process, opened on December 7, 2022 in Oran, Algeria. Our country was represented at this seminar by Ambassador Muhammad Ali Hassan, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, accompanied by Mr. Musa Jama Ali, First Consular of the Embassy of Djibouti in Ethiopia, and Colonel Omar Said. During the seminar, a number of agenda items were discussed, such as conflict management, disarmament, small arms control, African response to emerging threats, to peace and security on the continent, and finally combating the scourge of terrorism and violent extremism in Africa. On the silence of the summer, the Secretary General was received by the Algerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ramtan Alamara, for a bilateral meeting during which they discussed ways and means to further strengthen the exchange and identify new prospects for cooperation. For the first day, our young athletes won 2 medals. These are the young Naima Elmi, silver medalist, and Lula Muhammad, bronze medalist, a green pride for the school of Ali Sibih and an honor for the country. It should be noted that these cheerful alto-all specialists in 1,500 meters have dominated the race, a promising start. The 12th edition of the Youth Games of the Indian Ocean Youth and Sports Commission started yesterday from December 4th to 11. Many young people aged 14 to 17 years old will compete in various disciplines. After the assembly of the youth, the musical show was performed by Mrs. Mariam Abdul Qadir, founder and manager of the Escofilan Theatre School. The joyful performance, full of energy, was presented by the troupe from the school. A splendid performance on the theme of solidarity, including modern and traditional dances, performed by flourishing youth. The Escofilan troupe presented theatrical pieces, sketches rich in lessons on solidarity, interactive and fruitful exchanges between the youth of the CJSOI member countries. And this on the background of musical songs and cultural and folk activities animated by young Djiboutians in the presence of the respective high officials under the nourished applause of their fellow men in jubilation. These games allowed the bonds of friendship of the young people resulting from the member countries, and especially the detection of new young Djiboutians with strong potential in the culture and artistic domain.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The newly appointed Deputy General Director of Sports in Obo has just concluded a soccer tournament entitled Mini World Cup. Organized in the wake of the FIFA World Cup of Qatar 2022, which is currently focusing global attention. Launched on November 4th, the tournament, placed under the leadership of the Secretary of Sport, had the ambition to drain the enthusiasm and passion of young and old aroused during the live matches. It is for Basha, the oldest young footballer of Oboch, still on the field, to popularize the universal values advocated by his discipline, which are competitiveness, health, and brotherhood. Taking part in this ceremony of awarding the trophies of the president of the regional council himself, a veteran and fan of the game, the sub-prefect Mr. Mohammed Hassan, the prefect of youth, the president of the regional league of soccer, the regional deputy director of sport, thanked the officials, clubs, and referees, as well as the many anonymous people, among who Musa Muhammad, who volunteered at his side throughout the tournament. A special thanks to the Secretary of State for Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, for his constant and unfailing support to the development of national sport also was made. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, the OACP summit continues in Luanda, the Angolan capital. The fight against poverty, actions for sustainable development, and integration into the global economy of the countries that make up the Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States remain the major objectives of the body whose rotating presidency Angola holds for the next 3 years. The reduction of inequalities is one of the commitments that emerged from this third day of the meeting. By this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to take care. Thank you.
Vivez la Coupe du Monde en famille avec la RTD et profitez d'une promotion exceptionnelle sur le décodeur TNT de 8800 francs Djibouti. Dépêchez-vous, ne ratez pas cette occasion. La Coupe du Monde, c'est sur les chaînes de la RTD.
Le maire de la ville de Djibouti informe aux propriétaires des véhicules et des épaves abandonnés sur les lieux publics qu'une vaste opération de mise en fourrière va débuter très prochainement sur l'ensemble de la ville de Djibouti. À ce titre, la mairie de la ville de Djibouti demande solennellement aux propriétaires de bien vouloir évacuer leurs véhicules ou épaves. Dans le cas contraire, la mairie de Djibouti va procéder à leur enlèvement et ce, à la charge des propriétaires.
Une première à Djibouti, Proxygaz vous présente sa nouvelle bouteille de gaz, beaucoup plus pratique et économique par rapport à votre cuisinière traditionnelle. Vous gagnerez en moyenne 5 fois plus de temps. En plus, mesdames, elle ne laisse aucune trace sur vos ustensiles. Adieu la vaisselle tenace, adieu les mèches à changer, adieu les vapeurs de gaz toxiques. Pour plus d'informations, contactez le 77 20 59 58.
Nous vous accueillons au stade de l'amitié. Tout le monde est prêt. Attendez, pas tout le monde? Allons mon vieux, c'est la Coupe du Monde de la FIFA. Tu vas louper ton siège.